everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Crazy Hockey Dads podcast, the unfiltered podcast for hockey parents. No politics, no sugarcoating, just real talk for hockey parents in the trenches.
Crushed it.
Did crush it.
Crushed it.
Yeah, not bad.
No, I think
we're working on it. We're working on it.
No, it sounds great. Crushed it.
You know, every week we're trying that, like, you know, just 1% better.
100%. Yes, I would say 100% for 1%, but yes,
60% of the time
it works every time.
I'm not even mad. I'm just impressed. You made a whole wheel of cheese.
So many good movies.
Anyhow,
It's terrible. So many good movies.
So many good movies.
One of my favorites by far.
Yeah, but yeah, no, dude, we're back. Episode 23.
Yes, we are. Now you have me thinking about Anchorman, by the way.
I need to watch that again. It's been a minute.
It's
down.
It's
down in my belly.
He's so good. I mean, it's funny. In my opinion,
yeah,
they don't make movies like those anymore. Like the old schools, the Anchormans. Oh man, the beep is in it. Oh.
That's the worst.
And we're leaving it too. Fuck, the beep is back.
Turn the beep
God
off.
damn it,
I
Levine.
turned it off. Listen, if you guys keep hearing the beep, this is the last.
Man, I love it.
Time.
The beep is back, guys. The beep is back. What episode was that? 18?
I don't know.
19?
Try to forget it.
No, don't forget it. Leave it there. We're, like you said, just trying to get 1% better every time. 60% of the time, it works every time.
Like one step forward, 2 steps back.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. No. But listen, so we're back. No guests this week.
Yes.
We had 3 weeks of really breaking into that space of having guests, and I think it went really well. Got great feedback.
Yeah.
All around.
I thought it was great.
No, it was awesome. It's great to hear.
Both guys were great.
Yeah, and you know, obviously, this is such an obvious thing to say, but like just hearing, you knew Vollmer, or you know him like on a personal level for years.
Right.
Eric, you know, I've known, but not necessarily on a personal level to the extent where we were exchanging some of the stories, and just hearing more about his story was awesome to hear.
No, he's a
just
good dude.
To get to know him better. Yeah.
Yeah, nice guy. Nice call by you.
Yeah. So this week,
Really
no guests, just the two of us.
Yeah, which I think is good.
Yeah, well, I think we'll probably shoot for a guest, 1 to 2 to 3 guests. Let's say 2 guests a month, maybe.
Yes, I think that
works
you and
out.
I kind of agreed on that. That made sense. I think it's perfect.
But we have reached out to a few folks, and should have some really good guests.
We have a plethora of
horizon
people kind
I'm
of lined up
about.
in a queue.
Listen, we've been asking, and people are interested in doing it, and so it's just a matter of us like getting that organized. But the good news is that we have parents that have listened, that are interested, and we're gonna have some really great hockey stories coming at all of you.
Oh yes,
soon.
Yes. Jefe, do you know what it means to have a plethora?
Jesus,
do you know what movie it's from? No, Awapo. It was, I am not as smart as you. Together we raped the horses and rode up on the women and pruned the hedges of many small villages. Sorry.
dude, you gotta rate it.
Do you know it? Come on. Give me the movie. If you don't know this, I'm going to be very upset.
I know Three Amigos.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Three Amigos.
If you did not know that.
No, but I had a moment of pause because I thought to myself, fuck,
when I said El Guapo, I'm assuming you knew it.
No. I just thought it was a more recent movie, and I was like, fuck, I'm blanking. I was like, it's got to be Three Amigos.
Like I said, when we start talking about Anchorman, like, in my opinion, you don't have guys like Chevy Chase, like Dan Aykroyd, like Martin Short, like Bill Murray. Like,
it's different.
All those guys, they're just, they just
Robin
don't.
Williams, John Candy.
All those old Saturday Night Live guys, like, you don't have those guys these days, in my opinion. They're just not.
It was a different breed. It was a different time. It was a different,
It was
all different.
But I feel like you don't get those comedies anymore. Like the Anchormans of the world, the old schools of the world, the Talladega Nights of the world.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you don't get that anymore.
No.
Disappointing.
I'm thinking if there's anything that comes to if
I can't think of one. I can't think of a comedian out there that I'm like, wow, that guy's awesome on TV.
Like crushing it.
He's crushing it in movies. I can't think of one.
Right. No, they're
Like
all,
in movies,
they're all
right?
crushing it on like Instagram and whatever
like the
else.
Steve Martins of the world, like those guys.
Yeah.
You know, like they're
But they have their own I guess like the comedians, they have their own specials. They have the Netflix thing, which they had like the Richard Pryors.
They had that back in the day. Like HBO
Eddie
used
Murphy,
to run those.
Raw, all that stuff.
Yeah. But like the movies, I mean.
Yeah, the movies. Yeah. I
Like,
guess
oh my
you're
God,
right.
like Three Amigos.
Next level.
He's so good. In The Jerk.
Oh my God.
The cans.
Okay. All right.
He's shooting at the cans.
Okay, we're parking the movies into the parking lot. We are moving forward.
Here we go.
Anyhow.
Here we go. To talk to me about some hockey.
Yeah. So one last thing to just get through it. Crazy Hockey Dads Partners. Howie's Hockey.
Crazy 10.
Yep. Crazy 10. Use it. Pro Stride.
Especially with the season coming up.
Yeah, 100%. Time to load up.
Yep.
Pro Stride, Elite
Yep.
Skating, Angelo Circe.
Yep.
Check him out. Check it out. If there's one near you, fuck.
God
I'm turning
damn
this
it.
shit off. It's fucking annoying.
So loud too in our ears. My God.
Jesus. Okay, it's done. Sorry, everyone.
Like I said before, right? And you've all heard me say it. We are raw, unfiltered, and unedited.
Unedited. All right.
Unedited.
We need to get this show. Let's go.
It's good. It's good for us to have a time, but not when it beeps in our ears.
That was
like
annoying. I mean, I literally toggled off.
I saw you
alert
right before we
notification.
started. I know. Well, listen, we'll figure it out. Not to
Okay.
worry.
Anyhow.
So talk to me about hockey. More hockey.
Wait, no. So Pro Stride.
Right. Sorry.
Crazy 10. No. CHD 10.
CHD 10.
Yep.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
we've got Athletic Performance Insight.
Yes.
So check them out. Mention
Crazy Hockey
Dads.
Yep.
Get 10% off.
Yep.
And just everyone, I encourage you to reach out to Eric. He'll demo the software for you. He will tag a game for you just to see what comes out on the other end, the analytics that you guys can use to, help improve your team's performance on the ice. So API, Athletic Performance Insight, get after it. Okay. So after 3 weeks of interviews, one of the things that I thought about was really just the difference between the parent's identity in this whole thing and then the player's identity. And I think from listening to both of our parents, there were times where those things got confused. And when I say confused, I mean like, perhaps that the parents had higher hopes potentially at times, and
maybe more into it than the kid is at the moment.
Into the kids. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think when I think back on talking about as I mince my words, Vollmer.
Yep.
And that example that keeps resonating with me is when like he made the comment to Ryan, and then it was like a harder pill for Ryan to swallow than what
right.
he actually meant. When we talked to Eric, and like when his son,
AJ?
when he decided that he needed to take a break and started playing basketball,
right,
and like,
for 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So there comes a time when, like, as well intentioned as we as parents are, say or do things that are in line with our view of the situation and what's going to help push things forward or what we want, and then it doesn't always line up with what the kid needs at the time or so I think that's something that has resonated with me, and I've continued to think about since we've finished up the last 3 episodes.
Yeah. It's funny. I think that sometimes the pressure gets to us parents.
Yeah.
And there is pressure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right? There probably shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But there is.
Yep.
So I think that, and I think sometimes that those frustrations come out towards our kids.
Yep.
Right? I mean, you're putting so much time and effort into this game as a parent.
Yeah.
Not just a kid, but as a parent. And I think sometimes we lose sight of the bigger picture.
Yep.
Right? Which is really like what building blocks is the kid getting from this, whether it's how to play as a team player, whether it's how to build work ethic, whether it's how to, if you fall down, how quickly can you get back up? And I mean that literally.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when you make a mistake, how quickly can you kind of come back from it, right? Dominic and I talk a lot about, just as a human being, how sometimes his emotions get the best of him.
Yes.
And he doesn't make a good decision when he's out of control.
Bent out of shape.
Right. So that's a good life lesson for people like, when you're an adult or just a young man. I think that some people's emotions can get the best of them, and they normally don't make the best decisions when their emotions are high and they're not really thinking clearly, right? No. So I think that sometimes we lose sight of why our kids are playing this game, okay? And the pressure gets to us as a parent. Because we're all type A-ish personalities for the most part, right? Maybe not all of us, but a lot of us.
Right. Well, here's a good example, I think, and I think a lot of parents will relate to this, is just think about my hockey rankings.
Perfect example.
Right? And
perfect example.
There's something where certainly at the younger ages, and it obviously depends on the level that your kid's playing.
No, it's a perfect example.
But
Scott. Really
parents are can be so obsessed with my hockey rankings. Wednesday morning, 8:00 Eastern, here they come. And it's like,
I think it's even before that. If you start refreshing, I know people that used to refresh at like 3-4 in the morning.
Oh, it comes out that? No, it doesn't come out that early. Does
it used to.
No shit.
I think it comes out pretty early.
Well, maybe I guess I'm not that crazy then.
I haven't done it. I haven't looked at it in years, to be honest with you.
Really? You didn't look at it at all last year, huh?
Not really. It wasn't important.
But
Dom's team wasn't ranked. So
listen, we talked about it. We almost opened it with Volmer. We talked about how that Rockets team finished second and third in the country the last 2 years. We talked about it with Eric when he was even talking about how one of his kids' teams was 30th in the country or whatever.
Yeah.
I know, Otto's team the last 3 seasons have been top 25, top 20. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So and so while Otto might not be looking at I know he's not looking at my hockey rankings, but
I think a lot of the kids look at it, by the way.
No, yes. But I'm just saying from my own experience as a coach. And then last year as a on the side video coach guy,
right. Like a half coach type thing.
Yeah. I would look at them religiously, and while it's a team game and Otto's not going to be the person that's going to move the needle on whether they move up or down. It's a team sport.
I see what you're saying.
But when you get when you talk to the parents, it's it kind of feeds into that mentality of okay, this is a really good team. We got a good thing going. We have to prioritize winning.
My kid needs to be on
we
the
have
first
to
line.
get better.
Yeah.
There's tryouts are coming up. This is the 19th ranked team, and that's Otto's team's finished last year 19th in the country. And so it starts feeding into the narrative of bigger, stronger, faster.
No question.
And then it's
yes, it does.
My kid, yes, they know what the ranking is, but are they going through that same mental, gymnastics that we go through on they need to rise to this occasion of being a top 20 team? And again, I know not all parents are going through that.
I think it probably does play into it. I think some kids totally think about it. Yeah.
Well, but I think parents more so. And then it's you have this thing, or maybe you're a parent whose kid is trying out for a team that's higher ranked, or maybe you haven't even thought about rankings yet. Right. But at some point you might be in a position where it's I'm going to try to go, and forget the rankings for a second.
Yeah.
Even just going from A to AA or AA to, AAA, tier 2 to tier 1, forget the rankings. It's whatever, the parent is thinking about that's in their son's best interest or daughter's best interest. Right. That doesn't always align. Right. And then that's where I think things can get pretty dicey.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're right. Listen, I think that sometimes we all need to take a step back and remember why we're doing this, right?
Right.
I mean, most of our kids are not going to the NHL, right? No. Most of our kids won't even play in college.
What?
I know. What? Are you sure about that? My kid's going to the NHL.
Can I tell you something? So when you said that, when you said that, 8U at a tournament, I think, we're talking to a father who literally, again, the kid was 7 or 8 years old.
Right.
Probably had a few too many bevies. But literally said to me.
And admitted.
It literally said to me, he's my son. He says something along those lines he reminds me of Wayne Gretzky.
What?
I swear to God. He compared those might not have been those, but he made a
comparison
between his son and Wayne Gretzky. And I was like, no. Your son is not. No.
I mean,
no. In any event, sorry,
that's almost. I think that's like illegal. Like you're not allowed to do that. Like the hockey police should be knocking on the dude's door and be like, "Listen, guy, we heard you say something, and now you're gonna have to come with us."
Right.
like that's like. Listen, listen. At the end of the day, if your kid takes something away from this sport, right, like. We've talked about this before, how to be a better dad, how to be a better friend, how to be a better, businessman, how to be a better whatever.
Right.
Then you're shaping your kid.
Right.
Right. That's essentially what we're doing, and teaching them life skills that hopefully they then take out into the world and, and become a decent human being.
Right. So what are some of the conversations that maybe you got some stories that come to mind where like you're talking to parents, like that one just kind of bubbled up real quick.
Right.
But like, have you had similar conversations again? Cause we want to bring these like, conversations that a lot of us have like one-on-one kind of to the broader audience. But like in terms of parents, like, insecurities, parents like overly concerned about this.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like you have you had conversations with parents that were just like unnecessarily
like they're just so far off base of like where their kid is and where they are in reality? Is that what you mean?
That it could be that, or like there's a parent that at a young age is
thinks their kid's Wayne Gretzky,
is pushing like way too hard for.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all seen it, right? I'm sure you have too, right?
No, of course I have. I'm just curious, like from your experience, like if there's anything that came up,
like a story.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a story.
Listen, I think
I'll give you here's another example that comes up for me, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, at some point along the way, we learned about like, skates that were happening with like, they were semi-private like lessons, right? And like, we're talking about 6, 7, 8-year-olds. And you get wind that like these kids are like doing these like before school skates or these extra skates before practice with like, a skating coach. And you're like, wait, I didn't know about that.
Am I supposed to be doing that
too? Should I be doing that? Oh, yeah. And this is not something that, my son necessarily ever asked for. At some point it became different when you start to learn the landscape more.
True.
But there was a moment in time where it's like, you start learning about like what other people are doing and you're like, oh shit.
You don't know what you don't know.
Why am I not invited? Why did that person not include me? What do I got to do, different? Oh, Otto, we got to start doing this, that, and the next. Now, I'm not saying so we ended up so we pushed in retrospect,
right?
Too hard in some places,
right?
But when we learned, and when I say we, my wife and I, when we saw the writing on the wall, like we backed off, like ultimately. So we tried it on for size,
right?
Saw how it went down, and then
I'm taking notes. Sorry.
No, it's all good. So one thing stuck since like maybe like 2 years ago. He's consistently skated Thursday mornings before school with a skills coach, and that's been like the one thing that I can say we've done pretty regularly for the last 2 years.
Right.
But like over the summer we take a break and blah blah blah. But there's like another example of like a way that I think parents can then think to themselves, oh my God.
Yeah. So, it's pretty funny when you look back at it.
Yeah.
Like those power skates the kids are doing like at a young age and all that stuff, you get so roped into it so quickly.
Yeah.
And then you immediately fall into that like keeping up with the Joneses type thing.
Right.
I mean, and it's funny when you look back at it, like I remember being like bent out of shape that like my kid wasn't asked to play on like a tournament team. It's so fucking stupid.
You got bent out of shape.
Yeah. And it's so, and obviously once I was in it after a couple of years, I was like, wow, this shit is so insignificant. Like it's so dumb. And yet you get and you don't know what you don't know what you don't know until you know it. Right.
Yeah.
So, it's so dumb, Scott, and it's so insignificant and it means nothing. And in my opinion, for new parents listening to this, you should not get wrapped up in that. You should not be offended if your kid doesn't get asked to play on a certain team,
right.
whether it's a spring team or whether they didn't get asked to come to a certain ID skate, or whether it's, I don't know, your coach is looking for like new prospects to recruit for your team and your kid didn't get asked to come to that skate.
Right.
Like, in my opinion, like all these kids blossom at different ages and different levels. And it's all it is a headache. It's just a headache, and it's something that you will spend time pining over, and it's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, it's so unnecessary.
Yeah, we were talking before we even started recording, like brick, for example,
Yeah.
a brick tournament, and like that's another thing where, like parents, some of them like just they have to have it, like and will do anything, like
So
try out for multiple like charters, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But that's like another example of like there are plenty of kids that are ready for it, that the parents have the like financial like capacity
And the
to
kid
like pull
mentally
it off.
is ready for it.
And it's just
play.
like it's a natural fit. But then you start seeing some people that are trying to put square pegs in round holes, and like you don't have to overload this kid like when he's like 9.
Yeah.
Just to make this one tournament that and like it's great if you make it.
Sure, it's great if you make it.
But if you don't,
But if
also
your kid's not ready?
there's plenty of players that don't. And I was talking
Tons
to
of them. Tons of them.
by complete coincidence this past weekend we were at this like this lake, whatever.
Right.
And this one guy was doing dives off like the high diving board, and he was like legit, like could do some
The
things.
real deal, yeah.
And Otto has been practicing like his backflips and his
Right.
like whatever, his aerial stuff.
Right.
And the guy was giving Otto encouragement because Otto wanted to try to do a backflip off of like this like 15-foot diving board.
Sorry, I'm thinking about a movie. You said encouragement. Encouragement, yes. you know the movie? It's Vince Vaughn. What is it? It's Couples Retreat.
Oh,
encouragement, yes. Yes.
With Hank Azaria, or is that his
I think
name?
it is, yeah.
Totally.
Encouragement, yes. Sorry.
Dude,
Continue. My bad.
And so it turns out this guy was also is currently a hockey coach.
Nice.
And he was telling after he talked to Otto, I started Otto introduced me, or he came up and said hello, and I was talking to him, and he grew up in Jersey,
right?
And he ultimately went on to play. I forget what his youth journey was,
right?
But he's only 30 now, so he's still on the younger side of things.
Yeah.
But he was sharing with me he just wanted to play college hockey,
right?
And he played at a D3 school for 2 years.
Oh, is that right? He transferred?
And then he transferred to a D1 school.
Interesting.
When he got to the D1 school.
Oh, I didn't know that. Do you know the D3 school? I'm just curious.
I forget.
That's right. I was just curious.
No, I forget.
Yeah, that's right.
But then he ended up transferring to a D1 school.
Heavy D1 school.
Heavy D1.
Yeah.
And then he was told to play club, I think, at that school.
Oh, is that
only
right?
to ultimately prove himself. And his words were kind of
interesting
listen,
path.
he's I was a fourth line goon.
Okay.
He's but I did it. And I loved every second of it.
And he made it.
And he made it.
Yeah.
And I said, that story is
Quinnipiac,
tremendous.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That story is tremendous because it's
good for him.
You don't always have to be that highlight kid.
No, you don't.
Yeah. And I think I said this on a recent podcast. Just like that comparison is the thief of all joy. And it's hard for kids to really kind of own that, or not own it, but to understand that. But everyone, you're looking around, comparing yourself to others, and then you're not focusing on your own path.
No,
and you think you should be somewhere else when you're supposed to be exactly where you are.
Yeah,
and just staying the course and just
trying keep
to
working
get
on yourself
better, a day at a time.
Yeah,
a day at a time. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly.
Yeah.
And for the younger age groups, that's hard. Now but then you start, Dom at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's starting to take ownership for his journey.
Yeah.
And he doesn't necessarily, those things are kind of coming into focus for him on his own without mom or dad having to.
Which is nice. Really nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to see him doing and not having to remind him or tell him to do stuff.
So,
yeah.
So with the season, like you were just mentioning, the season is near.
Oh,
and
yeah.
People are gearing up. So it's what is success? Have you even thought about this? Yeah, last year was a big season for him. When
it was a good one.
Played at a lower level, but
went down,
but excelled.
Did well.
So have you
came
guys
back a little bit?
Have you guys talked at all about kind of what success looks like for this season, what the goals look like? Do you have certain ideas about what it should be compared to what his ideas?
So I'm not putting like numbers or pressure on him or anything like that. I'm actually not saying a thing about it.
Yep.
Listen, he wants to lead the league in scoring again. So if it happens, great.
Yep.
Right? I have not said anything to him because I don't want to put pressure on him. I want to see what a hockey season looks like where he has no pressure from like any outside, entities.
Right.
Like I want to see what that looks like. I want to see, because in my opinion, the reason that he had an issue when we were at the Rockets is because he had a truckload of pressure. From every which way.
Not just from at home, but also
everywhere.
Coaching staff,
in the locker room,
peers.
coaching staff, playing on a very high level team. I think there's outside pressure, so which is one of the reasons why we took him down from AAA down.
Yeah.
Right. And one of the reasons why we went local, very close to the house, right? 11 minutes away.
Is that all it is?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So close. So nice. So nice. Not having to drive like an hour each way, an hour plus each way. It's so nice. So I'm curious to see. So the pressure, some of the pressure came off immediately when we went down from AAA. But other pressures popped up, right? Knowing that some of his teammates or his new teammates that knew he was a AAA player expected a lot out of him. And the first couple of games, I think I've said on this podcast, didn't go so hot. He didn't know where kind of he belonged. He wasn't really sure how he was going to fit in. It took him a couple games to figure it out. Yeah. And then once he figured it out, it went and the pressure disappeared in that respect. Right. So as far as like, what the season looks like to me this year, I'm sure he has stuff in his head.
Yep.
I'm sure, like I said, he wants to lead the league in scoring, which is great. And he said that to me. I try not to talk about it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. And I just want to see because again, I think what I start saying, I think the pressure got to him at the Rockets and he just crumbled.
Right.
He crumbled to the point where, and listen, his brain was obviously, not as mature, so he's gotten better in that respect, but he has ADHD. So generally an ADHD child, their brains are not as developed as their peers. Mm-hmm. So generally I think it's like 2 to 3 years behind mentally. Right. So that may have had something to do with it. So he's a different kid now.
Yep.
Okay. But he couldn't take the pressure, in my opinion.
Right.
I think there's a lot of pressure to the point where, and I want to have like a psychologist on one day to actually ask them this. I think it was so much pressure that it literally changed his stride.
You mentioned that, and
man.
You would tell me how
Shit was
like
crazy.
Like so
It's crazy
when
stuff.
you talked to me about hockey and Dom's journey,
Crazy.
and you would tell me the level of like hockey that they were playing. So clearly, there was a point where that wasn't the case, and Dom was like a higher performing player on the team.
The first year he was,
and then you said to me, you're like,
the first year,
you're like, I don't get it, but like
something happened.
He can't skate like he used to skate. Like, how does that even make sense? Is he growing? Are his legs longer? And then you're like, he can't turn to the right. And I was like, what do you mean? I can't understand.
To this day, if you bring my wife in here and ask her like the conversations we were having that year, like I remember sitting in bed with her and be like, Nancy, why can't he turn to the right anymore? Like he can't turn. He cannot turn to the right. Now, listen, he's righty, so obviously his left-hand turn was always better, right?
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So obviously,
100%.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
With every hockey player, right? So if you're righty, obviously the other side, right? Okay. So, so his right-hand turn was always not as crisp.
Yep.
But it was never not there. Like I remember, Scott. I remember he used to go into the. He was playing like right wing.
Yeah.
And when he would bring the puck down low and try to like peel out of it toward the boards, right, on a right-hand turn toward the boards, he literally couldn't do it. And he realized that he couldn't do it. Okay. So now all of a sudden the insecurities start popping in your head.
Yeah.
He knows he was blowing an edge when he went to do that. So then he started stopping on his left foot. And he would hockey stop with his left foot in the corner.
Facing the boards.
And then you're just toast.
Like
you can't stop
the backs
skating.
of the play.
And then you're just done. And then it's over. Because you have no speed. Obviously, the defenseman that's has speed,
You don't know
and the
what's
winger
happening.
has speed. You know what's happening because you're not facing the right way, and he would just bury himself. So, so he knew that was happening. So he was trying to compensate for the fact that he couldn't turn to the right,
Right.
and it just got worse
Wow.
and worse. And I remember saying to him, you know, Dominic, why can't you turn to the right? Like, why can't you do it? I've seen
Right.
you do it a million times. Why can't you do it?
Right.
And his answer was, I don't know, Dad. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't
But-
know. And he may not have known. I don't know.
No, I mean,
You know, I mean, he had no answer for me, Scott.
Right.
And I kept telling Nancy, wow, how does your stride literally break down? He was a beautiful skater, and he literally looked like the clunkiest kid out there.
unbelievable.
And he still has a little bit of it too, by the way. Dominic is still, I mean, it got to the point where he developed like physical, like tics, like body movements, like an arm tick.
Yeah, you would tell me sometimes about some of that stuff, and you think, and not think, no, but like
I think it's all anxiety.
But you think so? Stress
I think it was
stress is a crazy thing.
I watched it cripple my child for an entire season.
That must have been so awful,
dude. As a parent, you don't know at the time, right? And I thought maybe it had something to do with it, but like, I mean, we thought he had Tourette's, which he still may have. I'm not sure if. So right now, it's just all gone.
It's all gone.
All gone.
That is fucking wild.
We went to like Tourette's doctors. Like, dude, you have no idea. This shit was the worst fucking hockey season in my entire life.
Oh.
Like the pressure, but the stress as a parent, not knowing what's wrong with your kid and not knowing how to fix it. I mean, I was taking him to to like an ADHD psychologist in the city like every Monday.
I remember that.
It was nuts. I mean, I have a video, which tell me if I showed you or not. I have a video of Dominic after our first season with the Rockets when he started to show signs of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was in spring league, right? And he literally would start like scraping the ice.
With what? His stick?
Hand. It got to the point where like he literally would have to like reach down and like scrape the ice with his hand.
Before a face-off?
For a face-off, during play.
No.
I have videos of him back checking.
Like not just he didn't know what to do.
Back checking and literally having to put his hand down on the ice and touch the ice.
That's unbelievable.
I have videos of him before a face-off. He's playing right wing. He has to take his glove off and like scrape the ice. And like brush the ice. Shit was nuts. Shit was nuts. And in my opinion, it was all anxiety.
All anxiety.
All anxiety. Yeah.
Wow.
So Dom's not on like any medicine
scary.
for
I mean,
it.
That's like next level.
Frightening. It was frightening. And listen, I'm sure his ADHD has something to do with that.
Okay.
I'm sure that there is, from reading, I think there's a part of ADHD that opens the door for that stuff, right? So that's when Nancy and I knew that he needed to take a step back,
right, and
needed to do something different,
right?
Because the situation was, I can't even imagine what it would have looked like if we had stayed there, and it's unfortunate because
you never that was not a consideration.
What was
for you?
What
to stay there? Like at that point, like there was not one person that was thinking like, wow, we should try to eke this out for another year. Hopefully it'll turn around.
So next time we have Volmer on here, next time we have Chris on here, ask him.
Yeah.
I remember coming to him when it's funny, you mentioned Merrimack last episode, right?
Yeah.
So
my lack of understanding where it was.
No, that's all right. Listen, easy. Very simple mistake, right? New Hampshire, Massachusetts, it's all the same shit when you go up there. But so we're playing at the Middlesex Islanders Showcase up there. And I remember, so I obviously I was part of putting the team together. So I had our helmet stickers made.
Yeah.
Okay. And I had them in Dom's hockey bag. So we had, for those of you who don't know, we have different helmet stickers than the regular Rockets. Oh, we had the RSG Academy Shield, the RSG Shield.
Okay.
Right. So I had them made. From like a sticker maker. Okay. We wanted to be different than your regular Rockets team, so we had a different sticker on our helmet.
Okay.
So because we were an academy team, so we wanted to stand out.
Yeah.
Right? So we have different stickers. So I had them in Dom's hockey bag. I remember, and it was one of our last showcases of the year before the THF playoffs. Okay. And I remember watching him over the weekend, and I remember the last game. I went down into the locker room.
Yeah.
I took the stickers out of Dom's bag, and I put them in Ryan's bag.
And that was it.
And I went over to Chris, and I'm like, "Listen, I love you to death." I'm like, "But we're not gonna be here next year."
Jeez.
Yeah. He's like, "Stop talking." He's like, "You're talking stupid." He even said to Nancy, he's like, "Why is Jamie talking stupid?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Chris," I looked at him, I'm like,
Not happening.
"It's not gonna happen." I'm like, "I love you to death, but I can't.
Can't do it.
Can't. It's just, like this journey's been awesome. Putting this team together, it's been a fucking blast, and I love him to death. He's awesome. But I was like, listen, we're not gonna be part of this next year. We can't. He can't. My kid was falling apart.
Falling apart.
I had to make a change for him.
Well, let me ask you.
For him.
Just out of curiosity, if you told him you guys were going back there next year, would he have been on board with it? Do you think?
Yeah, because they didn't really know. They knew a little.
What do you mean they? Who's they?
Like a handful of the parents knew.
But I'm talking about Dom specific. Like if you ask Dominic, say, "Hey Dom, do you want to go back next year?" Would he would have not?
Dominic didn't want to leave.
He did not want to leave.
He was ripping pissed when I pulled him out of there.
Despite all of these challenges, despite the fact that he was going through all this on ice, this stuff.
So we talk about pressure, right? On these kids, right? Dominic was straight up embarrassed that he was being pulled off, a very high level AAA team.
Yep.
He was embarrassed even going to where we are now.
Yep.
He was embarrassed of having to come down from AAA and play, at a lower at tier 2.
Yep.
He was so angry with me, Scott. You have no idea. So angry.
Jeez.
It took him months to be okay with it.
Well,
and then he realized that it was good for him.
Right. Well, once you got past the initial
shock,
uncertainty, the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
But so as you say all of this, clearly in your case, the signs, the writing on the wall couldn't have been any clearer that something's not working. I can't imagine something. So, but first and foremost, what came to my mind as you were saying that was Dom has something, a stick-to-itiveness, a resiliency. The fact that he was willing and wanted to continue down that path.
I'm not so sure he was willing, but.
What do you mean? You said he wanted to stay.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant willing to go down.
No. I'm talking about his willingness to stay. Considering all this adversity.
He wanted to leave, yeah.
And he was like, no, you believe he would still want to stay, or he did say he wanted to stay.
Oh no, he didn't want to leave,
dude. I mean,
when I told him that we weren't going to tryouts, he was.
There's a certain level of mental toughness. I would think that.
Listen, it was not.
No, or am I off the mark on that?
Listen, of course he didn't want to leave, because we talk about identity.
Yeah,
we're talking about player identity.
Parent,
right?
Right.
So
exactly.
he felt like he didn't want to leave. It was something obviously in him. He did not want to leave. He was a rocket, and he was a high level rocket, and he was not okay with not being that at that time.
So let me ask you this. So
even if it was to his detriment, because if he had stayed there, it would have not gone well.
No. It can't. It doesn't sound like it would have gone.
Even if it was to his detriment, he would have stayed.
Wow.
Just for the identity part. We're talking about identity, player identity.
So that's identity. A situation
that's my opinion.
Where you have to kind of save the kid from themselves.
Correct.
And I remember when we talked earlier about all of the the skates with the private coaches and the skills work and the blah 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 blah. And I would talk to some parents about that, those that were in my opinion, heavily overdoing it.
Yeah.
And I forget where I get the quote from or the saying from or whatever, and I'm sure plenty of people have heard something similar. But I would tell the parent, I'd be like, if your kid wanted to eat Reese's peanut butter cups for breakfast, would you let them? Yeah. And it's just because they want more hockey
doesn't mean you give it to them
because they want the thing. Just because they want to be on the ice every waking moment, does that mean that's something that you should do? Sometimes you have to protect the kids from themselves. And there's plenty of times where I think we talk maybe more about pushing kids too much, and we haven't talked too much about kids that want it more than what's maybe good for them. But there is that, and in spades, where there's kids that just, can't stop, won't stop. And that can maybe be even more difficult, because it's one thing if you're pushing your kid hard and you see your kid not wanting to do it and there's friction.
Right.
If your kid wants more ice time and they're trying to get better and you give it to them, that seems
it's
like
an easy match.
But then you also have to think about like at what cost. And I'm not talking about financial cost, but there's like, social, there's like whatever other things might, there's time away from the family. Vollmer was talking about he hasn't seen his daughter in like 3 weeks, because he's giving his kid more hockey up in Toronto. Right. Yeah. So there's costs associated with that also,
Listen, no question about it. It's a delicate topic to try to like for me having to save him from himself. I don't know if that's but so I guess it's sort of save him from himself, right? It would have not gone well.
And there's no chance that was going to happen. He was not going to stay there.
I wasn't letting him stay there.
Obviously.
Yeah. I was not letting him. Dominic's going to be a late bloomer in my opinion.
And that's another thing that's come up a few times in these, like maybe not as we've talked about it.
And
but
he needs tons of encouragement too. And he cannot be like shit on.
Right.
Like that doesn't work for my kid.
Right.
Yeah.
So. And so so there's a few things there. One,
that's something we changed last season.
Being a late bloomer is something that there's plenty of them out there.
And I mean mentally.
No, okay, mentally, physically, whatever it is,
or physically too, but mentally
just
is
from
really
like even like a skills perspective.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we obviously live in a highlight world. We've talked about that, and it's easy to see like my kid is not there yet. But there's plenty of examples of late bloomers, but they don't necessarily get the same type of accolades and like whatever along the way.
No, they get it at the end.
They get it at the end.
Yeah.
But that's like it's like a marathon, not a sprint type of thinking.
100%.
Right, and that's something that I think a lot of people can lose sight of.
The big picture.
Right? But what I wanted to just circle back to when you're talking about Dom and like the player identity, the parent identity, then obviously like you worked through it. Dom had a great season. Ultimately,
better
in so many ways. In so many ways, there was like a slowing down of things.
Yes. We got back to kind of like basics, if you will. You know what I mean? To be totally honest with you, I just wanted him to start having fun again.
Right.
Because Dominic would come off the ice that last year and he'd be a fucking mess.
Right.
He'd be a basket case.
Right.
He listen, ultimately he packed it. Like God, you're going to ask me something. God.
When you said packed it in, you're talking about like during games. And
yes, he realized because I would say to him like, "What is wrong with your stride? Like, why can't you skate all of a sudden?" Because I was dumbfounded.
Right.
Like, in retrospect, I should not have been saying that because it obviously made him aware of it. Right. It's not that he didn't know it. He knew it. He knew he couldn't turn to the right all of a sudden.
But you're dumping on him.
I was saying, why can't you turn to what? Because I wanted to fix it.
What's wrong with you?
Right.
Like that's ultimately the message you're sending to him.
All
right?
I wanted to do was fucking fix it. That's all I want to do is fix it. Like, tell me what's wrong with you so we can go fix it. Like, I'll bring you to a skating coach and I'll have him do fucking right hand turns for 3 hours. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, tell me what we can do to help you.
Right.
And he would Scott, he would just, even to this day,
I don't know. But so here's like what I feel like I'm jumping around a little bit, but part of what I wanted to kind of tease out here was like we talk about a lot of stress. The warning signs were very big for you.
Looking back.
Well, I mean, but there are, I'm sure there's plenty of examples of parents that might be experiencing less significant changes.
If you look through, you can see them.
So so it sounds to me like if you're noticing perhaps, and if you're noticing changes that are like maybe you think your kid's taking a few steps back,
right,
or whatever, one of the things that you might want to ask yourself as a parent, am I putting too much stress on this kid?
Correct.
And I'll give you something, and like on my,
I think most of us do, by the way.
Most. So here's like. This is real for me. So the end of last season was difficult. Well, last season was difficult for Otto in some ways. Was asked back. Ultimately, didn't want to go back when we had to make the decision.
Right. Oh, he didn't want to go.
He also didn't want to go.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't realize that. I know you didn't go back. I didn't realize that was why.
No, I didn't want him to go back because I didn't want. There's a few reasons. Look, if he was thriving on that team, and I needed to continue to make a long commute, would I have done it? Yes.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to make that commute and for another potentially not good situation. I wasn't going to go through another year of the same stuff.
Understood.
And and not like any of it was that egregious, because it wasn't, but it just wasn't an overwhelmingly positive experience. And to have something that was not positive and commit so much of my own time and my family's time, like the math didn't just tie out for us. But what I was going to say was, okay, we make the change, we're playing closer to home, going from tier 1 to tier 2.
Right.
And so now some time's gone by. He's had some time to reflect. We're all gearing up for like the hockey season again.
Yeah.
And I think he has some regret about that decision.
About going down.
Yes. And part of what I wanted to share was that I've also been intentional about not pushing, especially this summer. I knew he wanted to do mountain biking. I know he wanted to do all those things.
Yeah,
and
let him just go do other stuff.
I said, listen, you want to go to hockey camp for a month with
Then
a buddy of yours? He's like,
about.
yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
Let him
I've
awesome.
let him be a kid.
Yeah.
And there was a point earlier, like in the summer, where my wife was like starting to question whether or not Otto's interest in hockey was.
I remember that.
waning.
I remember you said that to me.
And I was like, I was like,
you're like, don't you know I have a podcast about this? That's not an option.
It's not.
That doesn't work for me right now.
No,
I'm joking.
No. Well, I mean, that's true. I mean, he's actually never
Totally
going to be
kidding around.
allowed to quit. So Orly made these comments, and like, I didn't think that was the case.
Right.
But I, listen, she's his parent too, and she might be picking on things that I'm not picking up on. And then I thought to myself, well, maybe I just don't want to see some writing on the wall. I was like, I don't think that's the case.
Fair, but I understand you thinking about it.
Happens.
Yeah, I get the fact that you're actually questioning it. Makes sense.
I literally started to question
What's wrong with that?
And then, so recently, so we've been totally off the hockey gas in terms of like talking to him about it. Although he's gone to do some hockey things, but it hasn't been like a focal point.
You haven't been like immersed in it.
Dude,
It's
go hang
been
out with your
here
friends,
and there-ish.
go swimming, go biking,
which is probably the right thing to do, by the way.
And now he's starting to talk about how badly
he wants to play.
He wants to play. How he wants to move up. His goals,
works?
He's like, he mentions playing D1 and all this other stuff.
Isn't it funny how that works?
So this is a small sample size.
Yeah.
But I think the takeaway between my wife and I were like, we've made it less of a focus. We haven't pushed it. It hasn't been like you're on a great team.
Organically.
You have to keep up like a certain level. It's like, just go do you, and then hockey will come and you'll get started again. And now look at that. He's, look, I don't know if we had kept pushing on like the hockey gas over the summer, if, he would have said something similar. Maybe. My hunch is probably not, considering he needed a break, both mentally and physically, from taking hockey seriously.
Yeah, probably.
And I think that's the bottom line. Like,
it seems like it worked.
And I think it's working.
Me. Yeah.
So now though, now we're about to start our first tier 2 season. And I think he's expressed similar things, like, he was at a camp and whatever. People are probably asking him, what team are you on? And now he's going through this process of like, well, I was tier 1, now I'm tier 2,
right?
And like how that makes him feel. And, he has to work through some discomfort about, being able to probably brag a little bit about on the teams that he's been on, to now being like, I'm here.
Right.
And
Dominic went through that too.
Right. And so part of our process is be like, listen, just because you're playing in like a different level, it doesn't mean it's not good for you.
That's right. But they don't see that because they're too young.
Not immediately.
No, not immediately.
But we're at that process for us where like he sees the transition. Like it's the rubber's meeting the road now. Right. And I think he's now really starting to process it and what it means.
And you can see when the light bulb goes off.
And he's, so.
It's cool when that happens. Dominic went through a very similar period where he was pissed off about it.
Yeah.
And he was embarrassed. And then, like you said, that the light bulb goes off and he just kind of goes, oh, like I see why this is going to be good for me.
Right.
It takes time.
Right.
I think sometimes they're super emotional about it. We talked about, like especially with my kid, when he's emotional, he just doesn't think straight.
Right.
Which most of us are like.
I don't think straight when I'm emotional.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So likewise. So, it's, I think that it's good when they recognize it and then they can kind of make peace with it and move on. And listen, just because you come down a level doesn't mean you're not going to go back up.
Well, that's what so one of the things that I was saying.
And even if you don't go back up, it doesn't mean you're not going to play in college. It doesn't mean you won't ever make it to the NHL or whatever your dream is. Just keep shooting for it.
Well, I was saying this to Orly earlier today. I said, because Otto had mentioned something, and I said to Orly, I said, look, back up for a second. So Otto talks like there's this great program out there called Athlete to Athlete. And I
mentioned this to me.
I say it's great only because Otto's had a good experience.
Yeah.
I don't I'm not a part of the conversations, but basically Otto talks like a D1 hockey player.
Right.
Like once a week.
He talks to a D1 hockey player.
Yeah. They have like a.
Do I see the commercial, by the way, of a Princeton kid talking about this? Is that what that is?
So we've done that.
Yeah, I've seen that. Princeton hockey player, no doubt, right?
I think I've seen that like on Instagram. Or
yeah.
something,
Okay.
maybe.
So all right. So
you're not
that's
wrong.
the one you're talking about, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Got it.
So that kid who's playing D1 now, he didn't start playing hockey seriously until he was 10.
Oh.
And before that he had played lacrosse. He had played some ice hockey, but he didn't play seriously until he was 10.
Right.
And so so that's what made me think of this.
Right.
And that was I said to Orly, I said, listen, Otto knows what, his he played at a higher level before, but imagine like if he just started playing today. The past is in the past. There's nothing that you can do about that. But if this is your jumping off point, if tomorrow is day one in your hockey journey, and this is your jumping off point, like there's plenty of room to move up. I think in his mind he might think that because he went like high to low, that like going from low to high is maybe next to impossible. When in fact it happens all the time.
All the time.
And if you just kind of like reframe that and be like, listen, today's a brand new day. Plenty of kids are jumping off at a AA point that go on to play, so
happens all over the place.
So that's just a matter of like, probably some maturity on his end.
Sure.
But, it's maybe just like kind of reframing this for him might be part of the equation to help him adjust. But at the end of the day, I'm not even concerned about it. I feel as if I'm optimistic he'll have a good season. I'm optimistic he'll be
think so.
An important part of the team.
I'm
optimistic that he will improve in some areas where he just maybe didn't have enough time and space to improve on last year, or like special teams get enough PT, whatever it might be.
Listen,
so I mean,
it'll build his confidence, I think. Yeah, you should be. And it's funny too, because we started out kind of doing parent identity, player identity. I think we've focused a lot on player identity, right? In this conversation. But the funny part about it is I think the parent identity piece of it, where like you feel like your kid has to be good like all the time and has to be on all the time, I think puts pressure on the kid. And then the kid realizes that the player identity thing is a real thing, or he feels like it's a real thing, whether it is or not, right? And then that puts more pressure on them. And I think at these young ages, I think a lot of these kids don't know how to handle that.
No, and why should they?
Some do. Don't get me wrong, but I know
those are more like the fringe.
Yes, right. It's not the masses. I know mine couldn't. Couldn't do it.
But like you talk about like, the parent versus the player, but like as you're talking about Dom's experience and you're talking about how his right, like turning to the right, like fell apart, and you're just even hearing you talk, like this is a guy that started a high level team that put blood, sweat, and tears into it. Like your identity in all of this was like high level hockey.
I suppose.
No?
Yeah,
for at least the hockey piece.
Yeah, listen, I was involved in it. Sure,
and so you're also having to like deal with like the loss of this, and like you're a kid who's struggling and dealing with that, and like you even said, you're like, what do I need to do to fix this?
Yeah,
right, and like that,
so my personality, like just
but that's
tell
like
me
kind
what to
of
do,
telling,
and we'll fix it.
And I think that's what like like parents want to fix things.
I need solutions.
No, but I guess I just wanted to while we might not. I think that it's been pretty obvious that as you've shared, and myself as well, that we've had moments in time where like our identity with hockey has been tied to like a higher level,
right?
And then shifting to a different, a different team, a different level, a different mindset, a different approach to the game, like required us also to make some mental adjustments,
no question,
and look at things with different perspective, different lenses. And when it's not easy to do.
I think I just realized that my kid needed a change, and so obviously my change came because his had to come, right?
Yeah.
And to be totally honest with you, I just took my foot off the gas, like big time.
But that didn't happen overnight.
No. It like I said, it was the entire season of trying to figure out like what was going on, and no, it didn't.
Right.
I want to say the stages of it were something along the lines of like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? That was stage one.
That's a technical term, right?
Yes. Stage two was, Nancy, how the fuck do we fix this? And stage three was, oh my God, we can't fucking fix this. Like, so we started going to doctors. Like, again, like, we went like,
But you had some extreme stuff though. I mean,
I can't imagine that there's many parents out there that saw what I saw. Listen, right. I'm sure they're out there, but
no doubt.
But listen, I've never, it just shows you, and we need to have a doctor on here one day. It shows you how powerful stress and anxiety is.
Sure.
Especially on kids that are young and immature. But and when I look back on it, you start to see stuff.
Yeah.
Right. When you're in the moment, you're just like, oh my God, like what is happening? Like why, all of a sudden, why can't my child skate?
Right.
And I have to tell you, he's not all the way back yet.
Right.
Like he's not all the way back yet. And it's funny, you attribute it to things like, oh, he's growing, or like he has new skates, or like, but then once you start seeing the more severe things, and it's funny too, Scott, because, it's funny. I'm trying to think, would I have done anything differently? Probably in different orders, right? But I can tell you this, I guess in summing it up, I could say this. Stress and anxiety is a real thing for these kids. So I think that and they already have it playing this game, right?
Yeah.
Locker rooms are stressful, coaches are stressful, parents are stressful. I think the more you could take off of your kids' shoulders at home, in the car, hello?
Yeah, the car, those hours.
Fucking car.
At least there's only 11 minutes now. So at least to the home games and practice. So
the last couple podcasts, right?
You got to be quick on your.
But like, I don't even talk about it anymore. Yeah. I just don't. Like if there's a thing, if I don't think he's giving effort, I don't even say it. I just don't say it. I keep my fucking mouth shut.
Right.
And listen, his body tics have gone away.
That's remarkable.
So they seem to all have been anxiety driven. He even had audible ones. He would like clear his throat.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I don't think I knew that.
Shit was crazy, Scott. The doctor's like, "Oh, you should go on like Tourette's meds." I'm like, "Yeah, it was a crazy year." But you know what? We learned a lot.
Yeah, you did.
We learned a lot medically and
as a family unit.
Yes, we learned a lot. And listen, ultimately, I think that he's better for it. Nancy and I clearly are better for it because now we know a better way to deal with our kid, right? So and listen, and it worked this year, right? And he had less pressure on him because the level wasn't what he's used to, So we'll see, man. As the season kind of draws near, we'll see if if not putting pressure on him and really like taking all the pressure off from our end,
right?
Is going to have a good effect. We'll see. I don't know. We're going to find out.
So it just got me thinking about a few things, but one of them is like when you say take the pressure off, I mean, I feel like
I don't say anything anymore.
Right. So specifically, and
I keep my mouth shut. I don't roll my eyes at him when he fucks up on the ice. Like I don't any of that stuff.
I turn my back.
You know what I do? Seriously, you know what Nancy and I said? Nancy, we were talking this while we were on vacation. We're like, he was walking this one day. We're like, Dom, we're just gonna go like this from the stands.
And for those that don't see it, he's just giving a thumbs up.
Yeah, with like a happy face, like
It's funny. I do. I have something similar. It's not a thumbs up.
I give him one of these.
Yeah, Shaka.
I give him the hang loose.
Yeah, hang loose. I've got something similar for Otto. Not either one of those, and that's a story for another time.
I don't zing anymore. Let's put it that way.
Fair.
No zings.
Fair.
I keep my fucking mouth shut because it doesn't help.
Right. But I just want to.
It doesn't help my kid.
I want to call this out though, and I hope you don't mind.
No.
But
far away.
In hearing you talk about taking your foot off the gas.
Yeah.
I also know you, and I also know that you do a lot of on ice stuff, and I know that even when he was going through a bunch of that, there was still, and maybe I'm not claiming to know the whole picture, but my impression was that like there was still, like the academy.
He went to an ice hockey school.
There was still there, so that was like on and off ice training regularly.
All right, so let me clarify. When I say take my foot off the gas, I don't mean like training wise, hockey wise. I mean take my foot off the gas like by not speaking to him. Right,
but so here's my question.
Yeah,
knowing that he does a lot of hours on the ice, probably be above average. Let's just say it's above average.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Absolutely.
And the fact that he has that as his, like, that's what his schedule looks like, is any of that putting pressure on him, knowing that he has so many hours, dedicated to hockey? Like, do you feel like, or is it more just the?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. Because he asks for that.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he looks to me for that. So I think it wasn't the take your foot off the gas training wise, like skating wise, shooting wise, on the ice wise. It was more along the take your foot off the gas as far as talking to him about it.
Right. You putting pressure on him verbally about performance.
I say nothing now.
Right.
I say zero.
You say nothing, but you still give him a lot of ice time with the intention. Clearly, the intention is like you're going to this skating coach to improve your skating, to become a better hockey player, to get better, to advance, to get to the next level. And I'm not saying.
Listen, he still does. He still does skates. He still does clinics. He still does that stuff.
Right.
And he asks me for it now.
Right.
So it's not. I don't tell him, anymore. He's coming to me and asking for it.
Right. But do you think any of like the volume of hockey that he was doing, do you think any of that contributed to this increased level of stress?
No.
Or do you feel pretty confident that it has to do with just the way that you were verbally putting pressure on him?
And it wasn't just coming from me.
Right.
It was coming from the locker room. It was coming from because
the whole dynamic of that team.
The entire
Right.
He was playing on a very high level team with very high level kids.
The coaches to the locker room.
Well, think
to
about it. I mean, the first year, he was a very good player on the team.
Yeah.
And the second year, all of a sudden, like he
fell apart.
You're not performing.
Right.
And they all know he's not performing.
And so
then they start chirping you, and I mean that creates its own. That's its own animal.
Right.
So he was getting it from every which way. Which is why I'm saying, if any parents listen to this that has, that takes anything away, it's, your kid has enough pressure on him from exterior things.
Stuff that you might not even realize.
Correct.
Right.
Whether it's in school, whether it's coaches, stuff that you're not even hearing about, that you probably won't ever hear about. So the last thing they need is when they come home to get shit on.
Right.
Because they're probably getting shit on regardless. I think, matter of fact, I think Chris was telling us, even Ryan was getting some pushback.
He definitely mentioned that.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, it happens all the time. And if your kid doesn't tell you about it, you're not going to know about it.
Right.
But for the most part, I think it happens to just about everybody.
Right.
So I think the last thing you need is, I think your kid needs, this is going to sound so ridiculous. Like, I hate using the word safe space because I hate safe spaces.
Why do you hate safe spaces?
Politically, I think they're, anyway, that's a whole nother story. But when I say safe space, like your kid needs to be able to come home and not get shit on.
And
Right? A place where they can go where they have some relief from the world
right
around them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially if they're playing at a very high level and they're not performing or they're under stress or under pressure, I think you need to, your kid just needs a place where you're on their side. And if they come home they get hammered in the car ride or they get hammered when they get home, the kid doesn't get a break from it.
Right.
And that I think is detrimental.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. Well, listen, I think that that was a lot of good stuff. And I just, thanks for sharing.
No worries.
So openly and honestly.
Hopefully a parent recognizes that if they see that happen to their kid and is able to stop it. Because we learned the hard way. That was not fun.
No.
Yeah. But listen, he's probably better for it because it was a good learning lesson. We fell down. We picked ourselves up. We dusted ourselves off, and you move forward.
Yeah. Listen, and I will, and I also think, it's amazing that the fallout from that hasn't, it could have also just been I'm done.
100%.
That's a very reasonable
100%.
outcome.
He could have been
that.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm done.
I don't like this anymore. I'm
Fuck
fucking
that.
finished. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fucking finished.
So he's still going on.
Credit to him.
Credit to him. That's what I was saying earlier about that mental toughness, that resiliency.
You're not wrong about that.
Yeah.
And I think it's important as parents. You don't want to catch your kid when they're falling, right? Because I think you need to let them fall, right? But once they've fallen, you need to be there to pick them up, show them the lesson, and say, hey, listen, it doesn't end here. We're going to keep going.
Right.
And that's what we did. I remember saying to Dominic, Dom, your stride looks like shit. It's all fucking retarded. It's all jacked up. And it was. It 100% was. I said, you know what? I said, we're going to go fix it.
Yeah.
And we're going to put in the work and we're going to go fix it.
And he was on board with that.
He was on board with it.
And that was not something that you felt was putting more pressure on a kid that just...
No.
Because
he realized that he was all out of whack.
Yep.
And he knew it needed to be fixed. He was frustrated because he felt like he went backwards, which he did. I think he did.
Yeah.
Right. Substantially backwards. But ultimately, if it comes back where he learns how to pick yourself up when you go down, then you know what?
Oh, it
was a hard life lesson.
But it's a good life.
It's a good one.
That's something he'll never forget.
No way.
No.
This will hopefully help him in the world moving forward.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Again, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, no worries.
Was a lot of
hopefully it helps
really
somebody out there. Or multiple
stuff.
somebody's out there. Yeah.
But speaking about the
raw and unedited.
So I'd mentioned last week we had another listener write in.
You did.
I did. So it's very fitting. It's very fitting. So I'm just gonna, before we start to wrap this up, just gonna share it real quick. So, hey Scott and James, just wanted to say thanks for talking about the pressure to always do more. I thought I'd share what happened this summer when we tried to take a break. My wife and I made a plan. No camps, no clinics, no skating until August. My son, he's 11, was all in. Wanted to play baseball and swim with friends. For once, we actually stuck to it. But about three weeks in, the text started rolling in. Are you guys doing the Edgeworth camp?
Oh man, they caved.
There's a skate Tuesday, invite only. Did you hear so-and-so is already back on the ice?
Oh man.
And suddenly,
parent pressure.
You ready? And suddenly I was spiraling.
Oh my God.
I started second guessing everything. Was he falling behind? Losing his edge? Would the coaches notice? Would it matter?
Oh my goodness.
I didn't want to say anything to him, but I almost caved. I had the sign up page open more than once.
Oh boy.
Then one night he came home from baseball, absolutely filthy, sunburnt, and grinning ear to ear, tossed his gear in the garage and said, that was the best game ever.
Baseball game.
Yeah, baseball game.
Okay.
Baseball game. And then he's like, that's when I realized he's not behind. He's just being a kid. And honestly, he's doing great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
He'll be back on the ice soon, but I'm glad we took the pause. Thanks for the reminder that sometimes not skating is the right move.
All right, good. So the parent didn't cave.
No.
So he didn't. All right, listen.
Yeah. There's Jim from Philly.
Good for him. Hey, listen, I like Philly. I actually, it's funny. I was just talking about Philly.
Liberty Bell.
I like Philly. Have you been recently? It's fun.
Like 2 years ago.
Downtown Philly's fun.
Well, there with my folks, and Otto and Noah. And
really?
Yeah, we all did like a weekend there.
You stayed downtown? Where'd you stay?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know where you stayed? Like Center City? Do you know where you were?
Near Rittenhouse Square somewhere.
Okay. Do you know where you stayed? Like Marriott, Hilton.
Honestly, I forget.
Gotcha. All right. I'm curious if you were. I like downtown Philly.
Yeah, no,
a lot of
Philly's
history. Cool place.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
anyway, so that was a listener write-in.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks so much for chiming in.
Yeah, let's go, Jim.
Yeah.
So next week. Oh, so all right. So
Mini camp.
mini camp. Yeah. So we're gonna try something on for size.
This is gonna be fun.
More to come on that one.
Yes.
We'll have we'll share more next week.
Should we drop it, at least tell them what it is?
Yeah, we got the Crazy Hockey Dads mini camp.
What it's going to be, kind of what it's going to gut. After you tell them what it's going to.
No. So you go. You've got more notes on it over there.
Well, I mean, I don't have anything concrete yet, but our idea is as the season draws near, so the week of 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29, which is when I'm pretty sure most of us are going to like showcases or like opening tournaments, right?
Yeah.
Or just gearing up for the start of the season in a week or two. We're going to try something different. Instead of giving you one episode a week that week, we're going to do one episode a day, Monday through Friday.
Yep.
So you're going to get 5 episodes from us, kind of getting everybody ready and gearing up for the season opener.
Yep. They'll be shorter.
Shorter,
a little more focused.
Yep.
But we're going to do our own mini camp. We're going to have the Crazy Hockey Dad mini camp.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully one will kind of roll into the other. That's the plan.
Oh, you mean the episodes?
Yes. Hopefully they will like compound on top of each other. So you got to listen to all 5.
All right. Well, let's go.
And somebody send them to somebody in North Dakota, please.
Oh.
Because they are woeful on our list.
So listen, but truthfully,
Louisiana is still smoking.
But truthfully, there are other states that aren't even on our list, so they're doing better than some.
Listen, there's like 6 people in Delaware. There's maybe 15 people in Alaska.
Yeah, but
so I get why
zero people from Oregon are listening.
Yeah, yeah.
So there you go on that.
And Idaho, I don't get.
But just real quick,
yeah.
Northwest Territories picked up.
Oh yes, good. You got to tell them.
Bavaria in Germany picked up.
Yeah, and we got another region in Germany where they make pretzels.
Have you? I've been there.
Have you?
Those pretzels are good.
So I'm assuming the Bavarian pretzels are from the region of Bavaria.
Yes, that's southern Germany.
That's what I figured
yes.
when I saw it. So
Lederhosen and Steins of beer.
So I see you could talk more intelligently.
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Was it I like donuts? What was it? Anyway, but yeah. So we picked up. So we are missing one territory in Canada.
Yeah.
Nunavut. Oh,
I don't know.
I probably butchered that, by the way.
Yeah,
we have Yukon and the Northwest Territories.
Yeah, just picked up.
Okay, so we're missing one territory in Canada. We're missing 6 states in the States here.
Something like that.
And
either way, we're almost there.
Yeah, and we keep picking up cool stuff overseas, which is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. So that's always just to say thank you to all the listeners who are chiming in.
We really appreciate it. Please go drop us a comment. Like a rating and a comment that really would help us out.
Yeah, subscribe.
So hard to get those comments, the actual like reviews.
Yeah,
So please, if you guys have a second, go review our podcast. It really helps us out analytically. Really appreciate everybody listening, everybody downloading. It's great. We hope that this is valuable and entertaining. And we'll keep going.
Yep. Until next time.
Don't let the hockey monster get you.
Chomp chomp.